Hey dude, thank you so much for stopping by. It's Joshy J. By the way, in the background of this video, what you're seeing me do is a character design of a cyborg ninja off a Gumroad that I brought off one of my favorite artists. So I just thought it would be something more pretty to look at while I speak about this. Self-doubt is probably the biggest destroyer in society today. Probably one of the things that kills artists the most. I've seen it happen to my friends. I've seen it happen to colleagues of mine. I've felt it myself, and it is the biggest destroyer in artists, in humans in general. And this video, I don't want to talk about self-doubt. I would rather try and speak about how we're going to fix it, how we're going to overcome it. I'd rather let this be an actionable video where you can take something away and you understand it. You're not just memorizing it. I want it to be clear, super clear, so it's easy to apply it in your own life. The way I think about self-doubt is that it's just another habit. If you think about everything we do, everything humans do, all we are doing is pretty much habits. Everything we do every day is a habit. The things we think are habits. The words we say are habits. Our actions become habits. And once we realize this, then all of a sudden we get a chance to be able to understand, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just doing it because I've been pre-programmed to do it. And when we realize this, we realize we have the ability to actually change what we think. We have the ability to actually change what we say. We have the ability to change our actions. And if you think about what humans can do, all we really have are our words, our thoughts, and our actions. That's what humans do. We are thinkers, we can speak, and we can do. That's pretty much all we can do. And we can use these three abilities to be able to push us in the right direction. And we can use these three abilities to break bad habits and to form really good ones. And when you think of doubt as just another habit to break, it becomes easy, it becomes tangible, it becomes bite-sized. It's not like this overwhelming, insipid creature that's taking over your entire life. So your internal dialogue is probably the most important thing to watch. This is your thoughts. So these are the things that you say about yourself. These are the internal monologue that's going on with yourself. If it's negative, this is where it starts. So this is the core. This is where most of what's going on, most of the hardest habits to break are all the internal ones, because you can't see them. And when they become habits, then they become harder to break. And the longer the habits are, the harder they are to break. So the essential thing is to realize them in the moment. You realize what you're saying about yourself, because what you say about yourself will define who you are. If you're saying confident things, if you're speaking good about yourself inside, you feel everything is good that you are saying about yourself. This is building things from the ground up. And the only way we make real, true progress is when we are building things from the bottom up. And to start from the bottom, to start with not a lie, we have to start with the truth. You have to start with admitting my internal dialogue it's negative. That's what it feels like. If your internal monologue feels negative, it's bound to destroy everything else. So you need to admit if this is an issue that needs to be overcome, then admitting it is the first step. And you want to watch what you think about yourself. Watch the words you say about yourself as well. The words in real life that you put down. I write a lot of my words onto paper. I keep a journal and I write all positive things about myself. Everything I say about myself has to be positive. You are you start with yourself. You are the number one person to judge who you are, how you are, what habits you should break, what you think about yourself. If you're thinking negative about yourself, the world is definitely going to think negative about you. It's like the law of attraction. What you put out is what you're going to get. It's so cliche and it's so basic, but it is the most foundational true fact on how the world works. It's how energy works. I also watch my actions as well. Physical body representation. So I notice a lot of people who have self-doubt, they're close to themselves off. They almost have Sounds weird, but they have like hunched shoulders almost. I'm not going to tell you how to hold your body, but at least paying attention to how you're holding yourself, your actions. These are physical actions on just holding yourself, and also actions like doing things that make you feel good, allowing yourself to feel really good. This is positive. These are positive actions that you can do. For example, I run every morning. It's an action that I do. It's a choice. Everything in life, everything we're doing is a choice. These are all choices. Our internal monologue is a choice. Our words that we're putting down, that we're speaking about ourselves, that's a choice. Our actions that we choose every day to do every day, that's a choice. And we want to do positive stuff. We want to do things that are going to fill us up. We want to do things that are going to help us to believe that, when I get to the end of this day, I'm going to feel good. By the time I get to the end of the day, I want to be like, I feel good. I've accomplished, I've grown today. And then you focus, and then the next day you do the same thing again. You're breaking old habits and you're making new ones, actionable habits. Because all the most successful people that I know, they have a very strong action drive. They have a very strong drive, a will to do. And I think doing overrides most things. When you're a doer, you are taking things by the horns. You are taking control. And when we realize that we can co-create our reality, that's when things start to change. One thing I used to do is write down the opposite words of the things that brought me down. So, for example, I think a lot of people face fear. A lot of people have doubt. They have a lot of judgment. A good thing to do is writing down the opposite of that. And every single time you hear this little voice of self-doubt going on, you think of the opposite word. Even if you have to write it down in the moment, like you're thinking of self-doubt, you're feeling it, you write down the opposite word in your journal in the moment. You're like, no, I see you, I see where you're going. You are not a part of me. You are not in control of me. I am in control of me. And therefore, I want confidence. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel positive. I want to be able to feel these things so that I can give them to the world. It would benefit the world if I filled myself up with all the good things that I believe is good, and therefore I'll be able to discover my gifts and give it to the world. But I need to start with breaking these bad habits. That's what I need to start with. And then you're going to realize that actually you don't even want self-doubt anymore. It makes things worse because you have felt that slight, even if it's 1% of super, blissfulness, super confidence. You felt what it feels like. Even if it's 1% of this, you realize, you know what? I don't even want self-doubt anymore. This is no longer going to serve me. It's not going to bring me up. It's only going to tear me down. It's going to tear my gifts apart. It's going to take me away from reality. It's going to take me out of the world. And I'm going to leave what is my legacy going to be? I'm going to leave this world not even having started the race. I'm going to die at the finish line. Do you want to die at the finish line? I'm pretty sure not. So, sorry, this is getting so heavy. I didn't even mean for this to get so heavy. But I hope it is relevant. It's when you realize it's not going to serve you, you realize, I actually want to break this. I want to break these habits because I am then freeing myself. Then I'm free. When I'm no longer tied down by self-doubt, when I'm no longer tied down by jealousy, when I'm no longer tied down by judgment, by my ego, by any fear, I'm then able to excel. I can then excel in my gifts. I can then excel in myself. I can excel in my positivity to give to the world. I can excel in being happy. I can excel in being peaceful. Once I realize I don't want these anymore. I don't want self-doubt anymore. I don't need them. They're not serving me anymore. And one thing we need to remember that especially in the beginning when you're getting rid of self-doubt, it's obviously going to be hard. The beginning of anything is hard. Think about it. You start anything new, you're learning a new skill. This is what it is. And when you start anything, it's hard. Obviously it's hard. And we need to remember that success doesn't equal execution. If you base your success on execution, it's gonna be a tough uphill ride the whole way. But when we base our success on our efforts, that is true success. Because we have our actions, they are in our control. Because we have our words, they are in our control. And because we have our thoughts, they are also in our control. Because we realize this, these are all efforts. These three aspects, these are all efforts. And our right effort equals success. That's one thing we need to remember. I think Bobby Chu touched on it a while back. I remember hearing him speak about it, and really, such a great quote. I think it changed the trajectory of my mindset, I think, at the stage by lethal amounts. So you should definitely check out his work. Very, very freaking cool. Very inspiring artist, I would say. And we need to realize that we make these steps one level at a time. That's how these things go. You start off something, yes, it's going to be hard, but then you get past level 1, and then you're on level 2. You don't start straight on level 10. You're not ready. You're not equipped for level 10. And one thing you're going to find is the more levels you go through, the easier things are going to get. You're going to feel better about your progress. You're going to feel better within yourself once these habits have been broken and we are starting to implement new types of habits. Awesome, dudes. Thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end. I didn't want it to sound like a rant. I really just wanted to cover self-doubt and kind of clarify it generally so that it's able to be in bite-sized pieces, chewable, not too complicated. These things aren't complicated. And yeah, dudes, I hope you feel stoked after this. I hope this helps. And if you like my artwork, if you like talking about these things, then I'll check you guys in the next video.